Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the unmasked character of our world around us, and today we will talk about fashion. But of course, when majority of people hears the word fashion, they think about clothes, about the fashion houses, like strange names from Milano or Paris, many other places that are considered to be centers of fashion. I will not talk about this fashion today. I am not familiar with this, but I will talk about fashion for a living. And we see that our parents, grandparents, grandparents, great grandparents, and so on, had much more difficult materialistic situation than we. But they were running with families, vast majority of them. They were having many more children than we do, and somehow they were living. They were reaching their goals or not, but they were progressing with life. They were, I'm much more than sure, they were much happier than we. But nowadays, we have really, especially in highly technologically advanced countries, very good materialistic situation for living, access to many goods. Our ancestors even 30, 40 years ago couldn't dream about, but we are complaining, telling that kids are expensive, kids are destroying the woman's figure, kids are taking our time, kids are destroying our life, kids are eating our resources, blah 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 blah. And if you have kids in some environments like intellectual environments or artistic environments, you are considered to be backward, you are considered to be mental hillbilly, and so on and so on. So what we see, these are the traces of two fashions. Fashions in the past, in the Western countries or Far Eastern countries like Japan, Korea, or China. So that family was in fashion, that it was expected and good to have a family, and despite problems, people were having it and they were progressing with it. It was the fashion of the past for these territories of the world I mentioned. And now we have fashion of current times, that having kids, having family in short, it's not in fashion. You should be polyamorous, having many partners of both genders, in the best case. You should be in quotation open, blah 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 blah. But don't produce kids, because then you are mental hillbilly, you are backward, or simply the main notion is telling people you will be poor, you will not have time for yourself, all of your resources will be eaten by kids, and having kids in the past was not so cheap. Ask our parents and grandparents, and if you have great grandparents, they will tell you it's not so cheap today either, but it's easier. We have access to many goods, and also, surprisingly, many countries, to boost up their demographic situation that it's really horrible, they are offering many child benefits. But the outcome of these child benefits is actually completely opposite to the one that was intended, uh, almost all the time, because having or not having kids, it's not so much motivated as we think, or not only and not so much by materialistic condition, but it's motivated by social fashions and value the society follows at the moment. And here I need to recall the guy from Sardinia, from Aberwisci Albanian's father and Italian mother, communist Gramsci, who died in Italian prison during Mussolini regime, and before his death he lost his courage and he converted to Catholicism when he was worried that he is about to die. These are like Jean-Paul Sartre. Yeah, as long as they are healthy, they are very brave atheistic philosophers, but when that is close, suddenly they change their mind completely. But Gramsci is a very important thinker for the Marxist philosophy, because he said, don't destroy institutions, don't destroy structures of the state and society, because actually revolutions do not change much. They only bring destruction and troubles and terror, and people stay practically the same. He proposed to take over institutions and state structures, and he proposed by after taking over these institutions and structures, changing the cultural hegemony. So, cultural hegemony here corresponds to fashion, which I mentioned in the beginning of this video. And now many societies, not only European but also to a large extent Northern American one, and Japan and Korea, South Korea and China, they have changed cultural hegemony into consumptionism, really consumerism, I would say, consumption, and hedonistic pleasures are on the top for the social needs as of now on a massive scale. And in some places, like in some places in North America and in Western Europe, also we are stuffed with these LGB whatever ideologies, and it really destroys the society, because cultural hegemony from the previous one, conservative, was changed into the green socialistic one. So we see how theory of Gramsci, Antonio Gramsci, works in practice, and what can we do to revert it? Of course, we have to, each one of us has to start from his or her own position, and we need to do everything to restore the previous fashion from previous fashion, so cultural hegemony, for having kids, for having families, for living normal life, and reject idiocy and deviations and depravations of current ideologies. This is how it really works. Then we will restore normality and save our world. And we shouldn't follow this notion that everything is encoded within the materialistic status of a person, because we see that very rich people nowadays, or people with good materialistic status, in most cases they do not have kids because they want to enjoy hedonistic pleasures, and kids for them, or family in general, are obstacles to enjoy hedonistic pleasures. We should understand more our nature and the way how society works, and then we can repair our world. All the best, have a nice day, bye.